Wolfpack, what is going on? It's your boy, the Wolf of Roto Street, rotostreetjournal.com. We breed and feed fantasy wolves here with your Thursday night football week 5 tailgate, our sit-start show, our rankings update. There's been a ton of news coming in fast and furious. Some of it's meaning people are going to be inactive, some of it being who's in and out for Thursday night. COVID updates all over the place. And I know some of you guys might have some decisions to make tonight as well. So I always like to get live 7 p.m. on Thursday to answer these questions for you. So get them on in. Any likes, comments, shares, all that stuff is so appreciated on Facebook, YouTube, Periscope is where you can find us live. And if you're catching the replay, thank you so much. We really appreciate that as well. Or if the Fantasy Fullback Dive, we pave your path to 2020 titles. If you're a podcast fan, also great. So thanks so much for coming in, guys. Let's rip through some of these updates. And then, of course, the most important part of this show, your questions. Ask me anything. Get them into the mailbag. I'll be done in about 20 minutes with these updates. And then I'm hitting every single one of your questions. So let's do it. The first thing is those COVID concerns obviously still pumping up, which is no good. The Titans just cannot get it right. They now have had multiple unauthorized workouts, potential to forfeit their game if it can't happen on Tuesday, which is now when it's scheduled for. So that makes everybody a whole lot riskier. Hopefully we have some clarity so it's not coming down to Monday night and you have to decide, because that's some studs. Josh Allen is in line for maybe a fantasy MVP award at this point. Diggs, I think, is going to destroy that secondary. A.J. Brown set to return. Jonnu Smith, a top 6 tight end every single week, top 3 for me this week. So there's a lot going on with the COVID, and obviously not great news for anybody that it's running rampant. Hopefully we get it on Tuesday. We shall see. I don't know if I have too much faith because of how Tennessee has been handling this so far, but man, that would be a shame because tons of studs. Make sure you have your backup plans. Make sure you keep checking in. We'll be updating the injury report with COVID updates throughout the week as well. So just make sure you have those guys. I'm going to pull in my rankings actually here. So I'm going to pull up a tab, the NFL player ranking widget, so I can update these live, making sure you get at the rotostreetjournal.com the most up-to-date rankings here. Now, we won't move anybody yet until we hear otherwise with that game, but just wanted to make sure that's on your radar. We got some intriguing news tonight. The banged up Bucs receivers. We got Evans and Miller in. He tested it out, Mike Evans, before the game and looked good enough to get the okay from the training staff. Always a risk. Ankle injury, not quite like a hammy where it's soft tissue and could flare up and just be completely useless, but ankles still are scary. So ultimately, in a tough matchup against a Chicago secondary that has not given up a touchdown to wide receivers yet this year, I do have to bump down Mike Evans just slightly. I have him currently at wide receiver 13. I mean, he is kind of the last man standing here, but I still don't feel great. A tough secondary getting their number one coverage. I do think Scotty Miller should, already pretty high on the guy. Going to give him just a slight bump up as well, probably above Renfro, maybe even Landry here. I think he's going to make a nice streamer tonight. If there's anywhere they're susceptible, it's over the middle of the field. And if anything happens to Evans, he flares up in mid-game. I mean, he was laboring through the last game. So I like me some Scotty Miller as a play this week. Probably not over Debo, though, so I'm just going to get him bumped up as well. Those are my Thursday night football updates. And the surprise here is Fournette is active. Nobody really expecting that coming into the game. He was listed as doubtful, but clearly was healthy enough to get out there. I don't know what that means for his role, but it's not great news if you had Ronald Jones pegged for the majority of the work. Chicago is a little more susceptible to the running back position, but now Rojo becomes a bit more of a risk. I still, where would I bump him down? Like below maybe Devonta Freeman against Dallas? Nah, I think Henderson bounces back, and that's kind of a decent spot. I already had Jones a little bit lower in my rankings anyways. Boniface's not going to be playing here. I do think Vaughn needs to take a hit. He should not be in your plans now. He was kind of the intriguing guy, like, right, you cut your kicker, add Vaughn, see what he does tonight. Well, what's it going to matter at this point? So let's get Fournette now lumped in here. We're going to also add Le'Veon Bell to these rankings for some news we're going to cover in a second. But yeah, let's see where Fournette slides in case any of you guys have him. Most likely not going to start him unless you're really desperate. Of course, let me know if you're like, shit, I have a Fournette question. The bigger impact to me is is Ronald Jones. Goes from the clear-cut every down guy, saw like 80% of their rushing total last week, to now Fournette's likely playing some of these, interchanging into the roles. So yeah, 27, is that even too high for Ronald Jones now? Maybe. I just don't feel great about it. So I'm going to give him a little bit of a bump down. Let me know again what you think. I'm pretty big on a Devonta Freeman this week. I think, he looks like he's taken over that backfield. I'd rather have him in than Ronald Jones. Call me crazy. Although I keep going back and forth. I don't want to flip-flop all show. Let's keep him at 27 there. Just a couple spots down here. So ultimately, that is your Thursday Night Football news. The big surprise being the active Leonard Fournette. Evans is going to gut it out too. So just keeping that in mind. Now, Justin Herbert. This was huge news to come out today. 42% owned right now. He is the rest of season starter. And in my opinion, this dude drips in top 10 upside. Anthony Lynn finally woke up, and it's not going to be a matter of he has to earn it every single week. That was one of the few reasons to not own Justin Herbert is, well, what if he goes to the bench because Anthony Lynn's just a piece of shit? At this point, he is the locked-in guy, and we've seen the week-to-week upside. 300 yards or 3 touchdowns in every single game. He's played over 20 points in 2 out of 3 so far. And 3 of those touchdowns last week going to undrafted free agents. 20 of 25 completed, and he was bombing it. It wasn't just dink and dunk down the field, efficient when he needed to be, but then also taking his shots and taking them very well. This kid can ball. He's got the eyeball test all passed. He's got the deep ball. He can run. He's got a little Konami code upside. So to me, I'd rather have Herbert than Breeze, Minshew. Like, now that I know he's the guy, and this has been officially confirmed, he could go down as that, quarter season pickup that ends up winning leagues. If you were quarterback needy and he's somehow still out there, you got yourself a godsend at this point. I really think he's going to be a top 12, at worst, top 15 QB the rest of season, now locked into the starting role. Now, what does that do for this week? Nothing. He was already going to be the starter, and you can just see against this cornerless Saints defense, we'll see what the injury report ends up shaking out as. But give me Herbert over Goff now. Maybe not in this Watson-Ryan tier, but still, I already had him at 10. So clearly I could only go so high, but I like just the news, riding the high, putting him up to my quarterback 9 for the week. We just saw this when we were adding players to the pool, and that's Le'Veon Bell set to return, and Sam Darnold's also going to be out. So obviously you're not getting cute and streaming, Joe Flacco, unless you're a psycho for DFS purposes. Then, God bless you. I respect your nuts, but I'm ultimately not going to go for that. But what does it do for Le'Veon Bell? In one respect, it's like, okay, this offense has to be worse because Joe Flacco sucks. But also, Joe Flacco loves to pepper his running backs. So, like, if I had Bell and Montgomery, give me Bell tonight. Montgomery is a bag of shit. The Krispy Kremes of fantasy football is what I call this guy, just pure empty calories. He's 96% of the rushing totals last week and does 27 total yards on him. How many more times do you got to see this guy fucking flounder around the field and do nothing with his work? Sick of David Montgomery. Give me Bell. Give me the shot, because Flacco loves to pepper his running backs. He is right up there with the Bradys and the Breeze, right around 29 to 30% target share. Philly Rivers, like, Flacco fell into that vicinity, and this is going to be the Le'Veon Bell show. Arizona, 7th most points to running backs right now. At 5,100 on DraftKings too. Who knows if they ease in Bell, what's going to happen exactly with his workload. But why hesitate to just ride the shit out of him at this point? So I think we get a lot of receiving game because of Flacco. So PPR leagues, Bell is very viable in my opinion this week. And in terms of the quarterbacks, let me just get, maybe I didn't even have Darnold ranked anyways, but I'm going to clean up that trash had he been ranked. I'm not even going to bother. Darnold, out. Haskins out. That is some news we haven't really covered yet. So ultimately, Haskins has been benched. So Kyle Allen starting for the Redskins. Let me pull up that quick banner here. What do we do with this? Kyle Allen for the Redskins. What does this mean for us, folks? I guess one shitty quarterback gets replaced with another. The dude had Ian Hartit's great tweet this week about how Kyle Allen had some of the most inaccurate balls in the league. He also did sustain DJ Moore as a top 15 wide receiver. He loved to pepper McCaffrey. So I see the narrative of a lot of people like, oh my God, Gibson season, baby. And it's like, come on. It's Kyle fucking Allen here. Now, if Alex Smith eventually moves in and takes over, who also has a penchant for peppering running backs, that's what I'm hoping this all ultimately leads to. Because Kyle Allen's fucking Kyle Allen. Let's not get all fucking horny for Kyle Allen here, folks. But could it be a slight upgrade over Haskins? Maybe, but I don't see why you don't just ride it out with your guy and see what the rookie has if he can ever get it going. Because this is your real last. Obviously, if you bench him the rest of the year, he's not coming back from this. So what's Kyle Allen? You're really going to test him out as your franchise? Like, I don't love the move for the franchise. I don't love it for fantasy. I don't hate it for fantasy either. It's just like one shitty guy going in for another shitty guy. I'm not coming my pants like a lot of these people are over the move. Lamar Jackson, the other big injury news of the week, popped up midweek with a knee injury, and then now also illness, has not practiced all week. The rumbling is it's precautionary, so I'm not moving him down quite yet. Maybe Allen now above him because Tennessee's just going to destroy. Allen's going to destroy Tennessee should he play. Maybe the Kyler Murray gets above him. I feel like Cincinnati, though, Lamar always rips these guys up. But you wonder if they, call a little bit of less QB designed runs with a banged up knee. If he's under the weather, they don't want to expose him to big hits. So just enough of a reason to bump him toward below two other 35-point monsters every week. So Lamar gets a slight bump, but it's supposedly precautionary and not a big panic move here. But Andrews also did pop up midweek on the injury report with a thigh issue. We had Marquise Brown getting in limited sessions. So should any of those key weapons be removed, we might have to reevaluate yet again. Joe Mixon, fresh off a 45-point DraftKings day. My good God, at 5,800. You had him. Congratulations. You probably won some good money. Huge rebound, huge receiving involvement, which was the key to that rebound. And let's see if that keeps going. We hope, because now he's got a shin injury. Like you got to imagine he plays. Come on, what the fuck's a shin injury in the NFL at this point? So I do think Mixon will play. It's just like, he popped up in the injury report last week. A lot of people panicked and took him out of lineups, and certainly regret that after what he did. And he was more highly used than he has been all season. So to me, this is ho-hum, nothing to worry about. I'm not going to adjust my running back rankings as of now. Mixon's still in my top 10 this week. No doubt about it. The Falcons wide receiver updates, though. So let's check our wide receiver rankings. I believe I have Julio already out of them. To me, he's trending towards out. I'm going to leave him out of my rankings unless I hear otherwise. And even should he play, a hammy is that risky injury that I never like to mess with. So ultimately, I don't want Julio in my lineups this week, whether he's in or out, not playing him. Calvin Ridley has a litany of injuries at this point, some hamstring things. You got a thigh injury, a knee injury. I don't know what the hell is going on with him. He's got a lot going on, but ultimately he should be the main vein, the only guy. A lot of people might be a little hesitant because of that goose egg. So, do you bump him below like a Stephon Diggs, who just has one of the highest floors in football? Maybe. I kind of like this move, getting him down to about 10 or so, but that just also represents his upside. He's number one in certain scoring formats, despite putting up a complete dud last week. So I like me some Calvin Ridley. I love me some Diggs. So I'm just going to keep him bumping up. And then obviously he gets X'd out should they not play this week, but slightly nervous about Calvin Ridley. And I do have to add in maybe the streamer of the week. Zia, is he already in my rankings? Oh, he must be. No clue how to say this fucking guy's name. Zia, where are you? Olamide Zaccheaus had himself a fucking gem of a Monday Night Football game. 8 catches, 86 yards, team high 9 targets. To me, like, stream him over fucking TY, over Nikhil. Only 3% owned. He's going to be kind of my Hail Mary play of the week. Also, only 3K on DraftKings. Will be probably pretty chalky because of that bare min. Let's get Watson out. He's not playing. And Hamler out. But yeah, Olamide Zaccheaus, one of my favorite 3K punt plays, especially now that Bird is not going to be on the main slate. That Patriots game getting moved. Speaking of COVID updates, Gilmore getting COVID, and now they're moving the Patriots game to Monday night. So you got another doubleheader. Love that shit. That's great. But ultimately, Bird had a great day with Hoyer. That maybe it's that second string chemistry. You also saw some big plays come from Stidham too, in case Hoyer's not the guy. I think Damiere Bird's an interesting punt play as well for season long. You just won't have him on your main slate for fantasy football there. Maybe the most important Falcons news. Mr. Younghoe Koo is back, baby. The fucking leg of all legs, the sorcerer of the onside kick. I love Younghoe. He is one of my favorite kickers, and the fact that he's back, baby, he's got to be right back into your top 7 or so kickers. Should be 90% owned and started in every single league because he's just that good. So I'll bump him right up to number 8 here. Facing a Carolina team, they should move it with ease, a back and forth battle there. Younghoe Koo, though, back in action, and I am stoked. Banged up Broncos, baby. We got some KJ Hamler action. He's not going to be playing this week, already ruled out. So that's a little bit nerve-wracking. I don't see any reason to keep holding on to this guy. He seemed to be an intriguing ad when we had Judy banged up. The dude did get a ton of air yards when he's out there. Still some intriguing speed, but is he worth your IR spot if you have it and you got anyone else? Probably not. I don't see the reason to hang on to this guy. Noah Fant, also unlikely to give it a go. He hasn't been officially ruled out, but he is definitely a long shot. Maybe Monday gives him a little more hope to play, but also you got to have your backup plan. And there's a good chance now that he's not playing on Sunday that who's going to be your backup plan in that game, right? You got to have a guy from the Monday night slate. And those guys are pretty much all gone. I just want to go back to the Troutman fucking well. Ooh, boy, that was hideous. So ultimately, I think Fant has to be out of your lineup. So you can't – is he good? Yes. Is he good enough to just wait the entire week for? No. So he's out. Have your backup plans. I've seen Ebron still out there in about 30% of leagues. A great flyer. I mean, had a touchdown on a throw of beauty, a catch of beauty last week. That nice end zone rapport gets an Eagles team that we just saw get massacred by George Kittle, 15 for 185 to TD. Now, you know, Ebron's not doing that, but he still is a very viable play. One of my favorite DraftKings at $4,000. What a value he could be this week. So look elsewhere for your tight end needs. That's for damn sure. Jimmy G and Mostert, both back to 49ers practice in limited fashion. So I don't know if I have Mostert in my rankings yet. It seems like he's going to be good to go. Now, that then begs the question, well, do I go Mostert or do I go Jerick McKinnon, who's been an absolute monster in Mostert's absence? And speaking of the Broncos, by the way, Lindsey, just quickly, banged up Broncos, just go backtrack. Lindsey is expected to play, but again, Monday night against a stifling Pats defense. Do you really want Phillip Lindsay in your rankings, in your lineup, right? Like, against that the run D is granted a little less sexy than it was last year. No Hightower or any of those players, but still, this is not the time to get cute. You know, the one thing that happens with Lindsay, and the reason I bring him up is now Melvin Gordon averaging 20 touches a game or so gets a little bit of a bump down. He's been a beast, so it's like how low does he go? Especially now McKinnon's going to be dealing with Mostert. I think it just goes down a tier, right? I don't know that I bump him below Gibson. Maybe. I'm feeling Gibson season. Like if I had these two, I think I would go Gibson. So I'll rank them as I feel and how I would act here. And Lindsey, where does he slide in? Fucking above some of these losers, but not much higher. Right here. Like, you're not playing Lindsey this week. It's just kind of a little bit of an annoyance for Miles Sanders, who's been an absolute – not Miles Sanders, sorry, Melvin Gordon, been an absolute workhorse. He'll have his workload chipped away a little bit now. But as we were saying, Raheem Mostert, where does he slide in? Miami's just getting destroyed. You saw them give up, 5.1 yards a clip and 2 touchdowns to Carson last week. So I'd have him above these guys. Kelly, the starter, but not very exciting against a great run defense for New Orleans. So I'd say, if Mostert's in, let's give it a second to load there. I'd put him – fuck David Montgomery. Like, I don't want Montgomery tonight. I don't know why I have Montgomery as high as I do, to be honest. Fucking Krispy Kremes, baby. I'll put him, maybe he stumbles his fat ass into the end zone, but I'm not into it. But Mostert, if he's out there against Miami, maybe he gets eased in a little bit, but it took 1 carry against the Jets to go 80 yards in a TD. Like, this guy looked great while he was out there. He gets another great matchup. I think McKinnon remains like a 50% player at least this week, but Mostert could eat into that work just a little bit here. And the last note I have here, and then it's on to your questions. I got 25 so far. Let them fill up the bag, Wolfpack. Right at that 20-minute mark, as I called it, baby. Look at that. The efficiency of the Wolf, a peak here. Defensive studs, though. And this is kind of the often overlooked factor of the injury report. We all look at our offensive studs and track those notes. But noting who's out on defense can be crucial. One of my favorite guys on fantasy points, Wes Huber, does an awesome job of looking at like linebackers who are good in coverage who are out, or safeties and all that good stuff. And I think it gets so overlooked in the market. And two huge studs that might get underreacted to right now, Darius Leonard and Tre'Davious White, have not practiced all week. So if we get that Tennessee Buffalo game and AJ Brown gets welcomed back, he's going to come into a secondary that's already giving up, fifth most points to wide receivers, a juicy matchup in the first place. And then you get Tre'Davious White, their best player, out. AJ Brown should walk right back into 150 and 2. I mean, I wish this was on the main slate still so bad, because at 5,600, he's going to be a screaming bargain. But then also Darius Leonard for the Colts. I mean, all pro, ridiculous level right now. And that defense is still ridiculous without him. One of the best defenses in the league, the talent they added. But we can't act like that's not going to have an impact, a trickle-down effect everywhere. Good in coverage, great against the run. So, I mean, Kareem Hunt in his first start has to be a top 10 guy. I have him here at 8, but without Leonard there, I mean, I love these guys all so much above him that I don't know if he gets bumped up, but his ceiling definitely gets a bump higher without Leonard, covering him and stuffing the lanes there. So definitely of note to track those two and see what happens there. Alrighty, Wolfpack, that's all I got for my ranking updates so far. If I missed any news or notes, please let me know. And I will be more than happy to cover that as well. But let me remove that. And as you guys know, it is time for your questions, Wolfpack. So get them on in, and let's get this open mailbag going. Hey, sir, Fournette or Shenault PPR? Thanks for any input. So I can't trust a Fournette who's coming in as doubtful, Jayhawk07, in my lineup at all. If Shenault's good to go, now don't, quote me, I forget exactly what his injury was, but he did limp off last week. I think it might have been a tight hammy. If he's good to go and fully healthy, we just saw some of his best professional action last week, and it is just so much fun to have him in your lineup. I can't trust Fournette. Like, could he stumble into the end zone tonight? Maybe. But a decent Bears team, doubtful designation, like I imagine he's more of like an emergency plan at this point. So Shenault is my play, but also have a backup plan in case that hammy's still an issue. Flex tight end. So nice name here. Okay. And interesting picture. How bold is Dalton Schultz over Ertz this week? I'm pretty bold. I think Ertz is a decent buy low. Let's look at the rankings here. I have him at tight end 7, and that might even be too low. I mean, he is getting Pittsburgh, right? So I have Ertz 7, Schultz 9. So is it that bold? Not really. Like, it's not ultimately that crazy. They're 2 spots within each other. I do think after this week, though, Ertz has been getting a murderer's row of matchups without Goddard, everybody expecting blowups, but he also had some of the best coverage linebackers on him. So I'm not hitting the panic button. I think I roll him out against Pittsburgh over Schultz, but that Giants game could become one of the sneakier shootouts, the way the Dallas pushes the pace. If you're looking for ceiling, I think it does lie with Schultz here. So not that crazy, no. Leonard Fournette, rest of season value. I mean, now we're seeing Vaughn get involved. I just think it's going to be one of those ugly backfields that you don't know which way to go each week. Despite him having that huge, week 2, it's not something that I'm particularly targeting right now at all. 49ers or Cards defense this week. The 49ers, I like, but Miami can put up points, especially against a banged-up team here. So that's tricky. You got Joe Flacco in for the Jets, which gives the Cardinals a bit of a bump, and their left tackle, the Jets, is unlikely to play. And there's one thing the Cardinals can do pretty damn well on defense, it's get to the passer. Statue back there, I think we could get 6-7 snacks for the Cardinals defense. So give me the Cardinals, Russell Kaiser. That's where I'm going. So Fournette probably missed your thoughts. So he's playing. Yeah, Fournette is in. But how do you use him? Coming in as doubtful. Ronald Jones really showed well last week. I think he's going to be more of like an emergency plan back. And either way, it's a tough defense. Like, if he falls his ass in the end zone, sorry, I didn't get it right for you. But, like, come on. Who's your other options? Brad Russ, Jr. 1? Because I'm most likely going to have them above Fournette. Tight end Gesicki or Tunyon rest of season. Oh, I just added Tunyon to the rest of season board. I kind of forgot him after. And they're neck and neck. I had Gesicki at 8, Tunyon at 9, or right around that range. And I mean, the one question is how much of Tunyon's production has been a result of Adams being out? It's got to be a fair amount because Adams is just such an alpha. But Tunyon does not feel like a fluke at all. Worked out with Kittle all offseason, good athletic measurables, has that rapport and trust clearly with Rodgers, became the go-to guy with Lazard and Adams out. So, I mean, there's no stretch of the imagination. He's the number 2 of that passing game when Adams is out there the rest of the season. I feel like that might be a little more valuable than Gesicki, but Gesicki's just that athletic freak that also is seeing a nice role. They're neck and neck for me, Russell. Upside does lie with Tunyon, though. How could it not after last Monday, 30-point bonanza? Denver or Chicago defense this week? I mean, Denver is going to get – I literally have them 11 and 12, TC Haley. I lean Denver is the team I have at 11 just because Hoyer fucking sucks. I think that game's going to be ugly. So yeah, I go Denver, but it's really only slight. If you want some Thursday night action to get you a little, horny tonight, then Chicago could be played. But I go Denver personally. Am I crazy for wanting to start Webb over Judy and Debo? You are crazy, especially with Van Deventer. By the way, I got to give you your introduction with the cowboy collar, fullback, baby. With Fournette playing, how could you start Vaughn? If Fournette was out, okay, maybe. But I think Judy with no other weapons around him, with no Gilmore on the field, is a fantastic play. In fact, I got to kind of account for that. I don't know if I have it in my rankings. And then Debo also gets Miami. Like, if you look at Pro Football Focus's wide receiver cornerback matchups at all, he's got the biggest advantage of the week. Now, who knows how big of a snap share he gets if he's fully on the field? Questionable. But Vaughn, might not even touch the field now with Fournette out there. Judy, where do I have Judy ranked? And he's not down this one. Jerry Judy, 32. I do like Slayton and John Brown. So, maybe this is just about right. I am going to bump down Crowder, though, below Judy. Just because that rapport is so goddamn sexy with what's his name? Fucking Darnold. But who knows if it will remain that way. Now, A.J. Brown without Tre'Davious White, I would have him. So this ranking assumes White's not playing. Right up there in my top 18. If White plays, I'll bump him right into this range. But yeah, I'm all about A.J. Brown coming right back in and smashing. How do you feel about Tampa's defense? I mean, they've been great all year, and it's not like Stephen Drake's this Chicago offense is all that threatening. Robinson's looking great, but other than him, who do they have? So yeah, give me the defense. Fire them on up tonight. Top 6 in my rankings this week. So all about it. Tunes. Got a trade offer. Lamar Jackson, Robbie Anderson, and Zach Moss for your CEH. A.J. Brown and Marvin Jones. I'm not doing that, no. You're giving up the best player in that. That's Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who is about to go on a fucking tear. I mean, the floor we've seen. He's had his 4 hardest matchups he's going to see all year, and he's gotten double digits in all of them. Now you get the Raiders this week, the worst team against running backs. Here comes the 25, 30-point day. And you would be so pissed if he's gone. Meanwhile, Lamar Jackson, banged up, illness, just not Lamar Jackson right now. Love Robbie Anderson, but like if you're looking at Anderson versus Brown, I'd probably rather have A.J. Brown. And then Zach Moss, Marvin Jones, don't give a shit about either of them. So I like Helaire and Brown more than Lamar and Robbie by a long shot. So no way I'm doing that one. Hey, sir, Jayhawk07, Fournette or Chenault, answered that one already, and it is Chenault. I'm not trusting Fournette tonight. If he falls his ass in the end zone, sorry. If he falls it in twice, double sorry. But come on. Like, I'm not trusting it. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't touch the field banged up. So no, not going home. But check the notes on Chenault because he did have a hammy. So like, what's the next plan? I still probably like the next plan better than Fournette. If it's like that Zacchaeus guy for Atlanta, I like him better than Fournette. My man Marco, what's up? Would you start Mostert over Gibson. No, I think Gibson has just about earned lock, set, forget status. And Mostert against Miami, juicy. If they come out and say he's going to be the guy again, okay, then we can reconsider. But you got to imagine he gets a little bit eased in. McKinnon has shown so well, like I don't think they just relegate him to a nobody. So give me Gibson, who is only ascending. Best day of his professional career, 20 points against the Ravens. Good front. Powered in that touchdown after Barber gets stuffed twice. Hopefully that ends Peyton Barber's fucking run with the Redskins here. Let's not see him touch the field again, please, for the love of fucking God. Kyle Allen also loves to pepper his running backs. At least he did with McCaffrey. We can't just do narrative street because a talent like McCaffrey is a talent like fucking McCaffrey. Of course you're peppering him, no matter who your quarterback is. But he could get the ball to his running backs and liked to quite often. And Gibson, it's only a matter of time, right, before he takes over full-time for McKissick. McKissick outsnapped him last week, which is like a joke. And he had 85 yards on only 4 catches. I mean, Gibson just gets better each and every time he steps on the field, each and every time he touches the ball. The Redskins would be stupid to not keep feeding him more and more. Thinking about starting Rojo. Not sure with Fournette active, though. Fournette possible smokescreen. I could see that smokescreen vibes totally, Mike. That's why I only bumped down Jones like 1 or 2 spots in the rankings. But it depends on who your options are. So let me know, what you're thinking here. A. Gibson and Deontay for Travis Kelce. Mark Andrews' deal didn't fall through yesterday, but I'm liking this one more, honestly. Yeah, if you can get Kelce for those two, I mean, I love both those players. Both, I think, could have some huge second halves here of 2020, but Kelce's Kelce. I mean, only Kittle rivals the week-to-week upside, and dare I say, Kelce has even the better floor. So as long as you have the depth to pull that off, if you're stacked at running back and receiver, to me, I agree with you, Mitchell. I pulled that trigger, no doubt. Trade Evans, Lat Murray for Mixon. Thoughts? Depends. Again, any trade, like you need a little bit of context here because are you stacked at running back? You're desperate for a running back. You got good receivers to absorb that blow. But I don't hate the move. I have Mixon higher than Evans on the rest of the season big board. I think that was not a fluke last week. As long as they keep riding him in the passing game, we're going to get more and more 20 to 30-point days with top 5 upside rest of the season. That's what he did when he finally got peppered last year, the second half of the year, top 4. I think we finally, I don't know why it took so long, Zach Taylor. You're a fucking asshole because it did, but I think this is where the table finally turns and he's the guy. So yes, the answer to me is most likely yes. Herbert, Tannehill, Stafford, pick 2. Probably dropping Tannehill from that group. I'd like the upside of Herbert a lot. Would you drop Herbert? Oh, Cam is such a monster when he was healthy. Like I want to pick up Herbert. I don't want it to come at the expense of Cam. Who's your starter with Cam out? Because that guy could probably get dropped for Herbert. There's a decent chance. But no, I still think Cam is too much upside to pass up on and drop right now. Should I start D. Henry or Allen Robinson because of how is that an option though? Like how are both not just locked in? Both, weekly top 10 at their position. I think both have to be in your lineup and you come up with a new backup plan for Henry. Let me know, Ryan Voigt, what you're looking at there. But ultimately, I don't see how both aren't in your lineup. That's my opinion on that one. Montgomery, McKinnon, D'Ernest, non-PPR. I'm gonna keep rolling McKinnon at least one more week. He's been too good. I'm really intrigued by D'Ernest, but this is a tough first matchup. Let's see what he does. McKinnon can, and then Montgomery can just sit his fat ass right on the fucking bench. Krispy Kremes, empty calories. Fuck him. So yeah, McKinnon there. Will Tyler Lockett bounce back from a low point game? Of course. That is my favorite game on the slate. I hate that it's not on the main slate of DFS because the Vikings can kind of keep pace in the track meet, and they have a horrible secondary. So Lockett and DK, all those guys going to bomb with Russell. I think what's his name? Fucking Kirk Cousins. It's going to be a nice run it back. I think Jefferson and Adam Thielen both go off. I think we're just getting points after points after points. Two very tight target trees for both teams. So yeah, Lockett's bouncing back. How could you not have faith? Chill out, 808. Chill out on that. You got to have Lockett faith. Omar F, my man, catching live from work. Hell yeah. That's the commitment I like to see from my boy. Let me know if you got any questions I have for you. Thanks for all your help, Wolf. No doubt, Marcos. Happy to help. Half PPR start 2. Gibson, Davis, Lamb, David Johnson. Oh, how are you only getting 2 of these guys stacked, my man? I got to have Davis in against Atlanta. Probably his last full start. We'll see. You know, McCaffrey expected to be back next week. You got to ride that one out. Atlanta's just such a joke. And then, man, David Johnson gets an easy matchup. But, like, how do you bench Lamb after his best professional day, now getting a Giants team with he's going to draw the worst coverage on that team. So to me, I'm going to go Davis and Lamb right now. Yeah, Davis and Lamb. That's where I'm leaning. David Johnson's looking sluggish. It took only a couple of weeks for him to go back to fucking slug. So give me Davis and Lamb. Whole team is decimated. Sorry to hear it, Omar. I'm going to peep over this fucking essay you sent me. Diggs in, but if they get another positive test, they postpone the game. Should I roll the dice? Nope, not Fournette. I would wait it out with Zacchaeus. I'd rather have him in anyways, and it buys you some time because Diggs, if he plays, is going to dominate. The Titans play a ton of man coverage, and nobody decimates man coverage quite like Stephon Diggs. So, he's a top 8 receiver for me. You got to take the chance and wait it out on him, especially if Fournette's your other option. Can T.Y. Hilton turn it around this year as an automatic draft? T.Y. Hilton can kiss my ass and see the fucking waiver wires, Seb. Screw him. No interest. If he hasn't got it done in this soft portion of his schedule, when and why is he going to suddenly fucking turn around? Rivers has the noodle arm. T.Y. Hilton had more than 84 yards in a game without Andrew Luck over these last 5 years. So, no. I don't think he turns it around. He'll have a game or two, maybe even this week, just to make it look like he's fucking the man. But fuck him. Nope. No interest. Send his ass out. Trade Gordon for Montgomery. Fuck Montgomery. Nope. No interest. I like is Gordon Melvin Gordon? Like, I want Melvin Gordon more than either of these guys. Why are you packaging someone to get to Gurley, who's touchdown dependent? Gordon has been the definition of a workhorse. Why are you getting the worst end of this bargain? You have the better player in all of these deals. You panicking because Phillip Lindsay's back? Come on. I think Gordon's kind of built himself a little leash. Like, will Lindsay be involved? Yeah, he's a great runner. But Gordon should see 60%, all the receiving, all the goal line work based on how he's been performing this week. Got offered Robinson for Will Fuller straight up. Have Kamara, Drake, Mostert. I don't even need to see the rest of your team. I want Robinson. Fuller, that hammy pull. Oh, you'll give up Fuller. Yeah, take that. Go get yourself Casey Kelly, James Robinson. Do it now. I'm fully buying him. I think he is as real as can be. And that's just his stock's only going up. So yeah, I love Fuller. I think he's going to decimate the Jaguars, but he's just a ticking time bomb. So looking at your strengths, I mean, you have some decent running backs, but Drake is an asshole. We know that for sure. So give me Robinson. That locks in like 2 Kamara and him every week. I wouldn't be too torn. I'd go Robinson. And your receivers are stacked too. Like easy deal for me. Mixon or James Robinson. Oh, now we're getting tricky. The floor is higher with Robinson, which is just fucking insane to say because this guy was undrafted. But we got to stop treating this guy because he was undrafted like he's not an RB1. He is a top 12 running back, no doubt about it. Mixon's ceiling is certainly higher. We saw it last week, 45 fucking points. If that continues all year, I think I have Mixon slightly higher because of that ceiling rather. But Robinson is that floor play. And like if he's done it for you all year, if you're the one that owns Robinson and you're getting that offer, it's like, what's your fantasy locker room going to think of you after you trade away the guy that's just been eating for you for a guy that's been one good game in 4 weeks? I don't know if they're going to respect you after that move. So they're neck and neck. Gun to my head, I'd probably rather have Mixon, but it's so damn close. Will Lamar Jackson, Glenn Yepes play this Sunday? It's all reports suggest it is precautionary. So I expect him to be out there, and I expect him to be pretty damn good because it's Cincy, and he always steamrolls Cincy. But it's not a lock. You got to have a backup plan ready. But if he's out there, and he's in your lineup. Carson, limited practice all week. No real negatives, it seems. So, yeah. Deontay or Boyd, rest of season or this week or both? I think this week, I got to keep going Boyd. rest of season and this week. I mean, he is the apple to Burrow's eye, as we predicted, as we called. And that report just gets better and better as Burrow gets better and better by the week. So tougher matchup, sure, against the Ravens, but we saw McLaurin, 14 targets, 11 yards, 11 receptions, 100 and whatever amount of yards he put up, a beastly performance. Yeah, I like it. Boyd could do something very similar this week. 6,200 on DraftKings. No one's going to go to him. I think he's going to be very under-owned. Just read Fournette may only be active for emergency in case Rojo or Vaughn go down. Says, I'm typing it, my man. Yeah, there you go. The wolf knows all. Sion Cena. 0-4. Come on. What's going on? Connor, Hunt, Gurley, Taylor, McKinnon, Gibson, loaded. Keenan, wide receiver 1, Cam's QB1, streaming QBs and 1 wide receivers. Which RB should I trade for wide receiver? Now, if you can sell high on McKinnon, I would. Because most are being back, he's going to go back to a timeshare. So if you can get some decent value, my buddy just pulled up DJ Moore from McKinnon. I would do something like that. But I would also sell high on Connor, getting that RB1 value treatment right now because he is an RB1 when he's out there. But like Will Fuller, ticking time bomb, I think those are the guys. Obviously, they all have different values, those Sion. So you're targeting a low-end wide receiver 1, high-end 2 for Connor. Whereas McKinnon, you're looking for a mid wide receiver 2, high-end 3. So it all depends. I don't want to give up Hunt right now because I think especially if you're 0-4, you just got yourself an injection of huge upside without Chubb in the lineup. I think Taylor's about to take off too. I don't want to get rid of him, and Gibson seems to be ascending. But again, any of those guys, you got to make a play. So figure out who your opponents want, figure out what's the right package. You got to do something though. If you've been doing this streaming shit, you got a loaded stable. Love it. But yeah, it's time to make a move. Sarah Riley, Ertz, Hurst, Allie Cox. Not Mo. I mean, as athletic and freakish as he is, if he could fucking take over that role as the full-time guy, I mean, there would be unlimited ceiling. But he's in a three-headed nightmare with Doyle, with Burton now back. He's the touchdown guy, Mo Alley Cox is, but he's the easy elimination for me here. So it comes down to Hurst or Ertz, and I'm going to lean Ertz. Pittsburgh is good, obviously, defensively, but I think Ertz is due for a huge rebound at some point soon. Should I start T.Y. Hilton or Scotty Miller at flex for Victor Molina? Answer, please. Oh, don't you demand me. You used please, but of course I'm going to fucking answer. You're tuned into the show. I like the please. If you didn't put the please, if you just wrote answer, I would never have answered this, Victor. But you use your manners. I'll give it to you. But don't be demanding. No, none of that shit. Should I start T.Y. Hilton or Scotty Miller? I'm going to go Scotty. Fuck T.Y. Hilton. I think Scotty could have a nice night tonight, especially if Evans is a little bit less than 100% right now. Should I trade Drake for Boyd? Yes. Just for Boyd. I didn't even need to see Singletary, but even more so. Fuck Kenyon Drake. You can get a fucking bag of peanuts. I'm trading him. Justin Nelson. So you can get a good high-end wide receiver 2, low-end 1 that I think is only ascending with Burrow. And then Singletary, the way he's balling out without Mawson, yes. Get Drake off. Don't give me that question mark, Molina. Starting to get a little skeptical of you over there. Thursday night contest live on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Check it out, folks. You got to pick the 5 matchups to win a free Roto Street Journal t-shirt. If you can get all 5 right, I do want to make sure to share that out on my Twitter during the show. So give me just a second. But the matchups I know are Brady versus Foles. We got Ronald Jones versus David fucking shitty-ass Montgomery. Evans versus Allen Robinson. We got the Bucks D versus Chicago D. And then Scotty Miller versus the Kickers is, I believe, what the matchup was. So let me quickly pull this up. If you can get that right, then you get very exclusive. Very few Roto Street t-shirts are out there. We don't sell them. We only make you have to earn them through showing your knowledge or coming to a live show and winning it in a raffle. We don't sell them currently. Maybe that's dumb of us, but we like the fact that there's very few out there, exclusive gear. Alrighty. So I'm just going to retweet that and send in my picks. I'll even tell you my picks if you want to go with the Wolves picks tonight. I'm going not Big Dick Foles. I'm going to go Brady. I'm going to go not Rojo either. I'm going to go Rojo. Fuck Montgomery. A-Rob, Bucks D, and Scotty Miller. There's my picks. Oh, and then I got a tag. If you tag 3 friends as well, you get a hoodie upgrade potential too. So Pete Davidson, my boy at Rotobon, love him. Then we'll get Barrett never fucking answers the call. So Scott, I love you, but you never do this with me. So I'm gonna give Barfield a try here, and I'll give Overzet. Let's see if Overzet gets it in. Alrighty. Back to your questions, folks. And just to show you real quick what it looks like. Add to stream. Here you go. That's what the contest looks like. So you got to just comment in Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, wherever you're at. Answer those. Take your shot at winning a shirt, the exclusive gear. Give it a go. Don't want to miss your question here. Vision Assault. I have Jarek McKinnon, David Johnson, Justin Jackson. Is it only one? I think I'm going to go David Johnson there. Him versus McKinnon is pretty damn close to me. The fact if Mostert wasn't playing, it would be a no-brainer here. The fact that McKinnon is going to have to share those duties makes me a little nervous. Plus, David Johnson gets Jacksonville, like a pretty damn juicy matchup. He's also looking pretty damn sluggish too. And who knows? Romeo Crennel said, I want to establish that run. So I'll go with David. But it's close. It's really close. Justin Jackson, not quite on my radar yet. John Hamner. Sorry. Wolfenstein. Love it. Do you like Slayton or Ingram or Ingram versus Dallas? I like them both. I think a Daniel Jones stack could end up being that Millie maker this week. I have my DFS show coming up on Saturday, but just a quick little preview into my insight. But a lot of people have realized this. The 4 winning lineups of 2020, all 4 of them have done QB, wide receiver, and opposing wide receiver stacks. So not just one stack. Everyone knows the stack. All of them have had 2 wide receivers stacked with their quarterbacks. So just keeping that in mind, I think Daniel Jones, Ingram, and Slayton could be a stack this week. So I'm intrigued by both. Dallas moves the ball so fast, such a high pace, that would give them a lot of plays, the Giants. You got the Jason Garrett revenge game narrative. Love it. Let's buy into that. Why not? I think we get a lot of points there, and they're very cheap on DraftKings, so I like it. Hey, Wolf, should I start Gronk tonight or wait to see what happens with Jonnu Smith? I wait to see, because at the end of the day, Gronk, you're buying a touchdown or bust. You can find that on the waiver wire. You can find Ian Thomas, for example, against Atlanta if you need it. Jonnu's upside is well worth waiting for, in my opinion, if Gronk's your other option, yes. Kyle Toons, you couldn't pronounce this guy's name, or Marvin Jones Jr.? Well, Jones Jr. is on a bye, so the other guy. If you're saying to own, probably honestly the other guy too. Just cut Marvin Jones Jr. either way. I don't know if the other guy's the best play off the waiver wire as a stash. There could be more upside for you, but ultimately there's no reason to hang on to Marvin Jones Jr. He's one of my favorite cuts right now. Love hate cutting him. It feels great. Is my King TB12 going to throw another 6 touchdowns? I don't think so. Your King Dan Heggs, I love. I still love him too. I'm with you. I'm not like that salty loser, fucking CJ. I still love Tom, but Chicago's defense is very, very legit. I think they've given up exactly 0 touchdowns to wide receivers so far. I think we could get 2, 3 would be fucking big night. But there's no way we're getting 5 or 6. No shot. Ridley, Woods, Smokey Brown, Higgins, CEH, Gibson, Drake, McKinnon to trade Evans and Lat Murray for Mixon. It's like, yeah, I think you got to. Your running backs are, behind CEH. Love me Gibson, but, who knows what McKinnon becomes. Don't love the wide receivers in the aftermath, but I find them a lot more replaceable than a good running back. So Yeah, I pull that trigger. My dude, Todd R. Roos. Hey there, Wolf. Pick 3 out of 4. Gurley, Robinson, Taylor, and Jacobs. Is Robinson James Robinson? And I got to bench one of these guys. Man, like normally it's Gurley and it's easy. Gurley also gets Carolina this week, which makes that a little trickier. I still think I bench Gurley out of that group, though. Assuming that's Robinson is the other one, is James Robinson. If it's Allen Robinson, I might have him hit the bench. But yeah, Gurley's probably my bench, despite knowing he's going to score a touchdown or 2 against Carolina. I'm solid at bot receiver, okay? Mitchell Chavez and running back in regards to trade offer for earlier. Yeah, so do it. Pull that trigger. There you go. 3 running back, 3 wide receiver, 2 running back, 2 flex. Okay, so you can start 4 running backs, so even that much more value. Is Jonathan Taylor going to snap out of it? I think so, Tunes. I do. His schedule gets so damn soft soon, and it's not his fault, in my opinion. He's looking great every time he touches it. I don't understand Frank Reich's deal. I don't know why he's not just riding the stallion that looks significantly better than Hines. Wilkins is breaking tackles at a decent. Fuck Jordan Wilkins. Fuck off with your Jordan Wilkins talk. It should be the Jonathan Taylor show. I think it will be the Jonathan Taylor show soon enough. And as soon as it is, you're getting a fucking league winner. I'm holding strong, not bending on Jonathan Taylor right now. Would you trade Ridley, Kelly, Schultz for CMC and Ingram? Yeah, yes, absolutely yes. CMC could come back. Look what Mike Davis is doing. When CMC walks back into that receiving role, if he's still CMC and not dinged up all year, he's going to tilt leagues. He's going to come back to 30 points a week. Mike Davis is putting up 20-something a week. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Please do it now, Russell Kaiser. Don't you dare hesitate. Saints D versus LAC or Colts D versus my Browns. Screw your Browns. Omar. Definitely Colts D. That defense is one of the best defenses in the league. I think Baker's going to throw a nice little pick 6 to him. Standard league, upside of Gallup or Jay Kelly. Broderick Forshier. Kelly makes me nervous. Eckler out. Okay, going to get the start. Yeah. New Orleans a very good run D. Fumbling concerns. Dude's going to hit the bench for Justin Jackson if that keeps going on. So give me the upside of Gallup. I'd rather take that stab. Yeah. I got Bell, Crowder, and Debo. Injuries and COVID have bent me over and screwed me. Sorry, Sion Cena. Never fun to be bent over and screwed by injuries and COVID. I need trade ideas. Got to change. You got to move some of those running backs for receivers. That's what it comes down to. Is Josh Kelly as safe of a start? No, Noah Pringle. I don't think so, as I just covered there. Fumbling concerns. The matchup against New Orleans, don't be shocked if Justin Jackson, who's shown well when he's gotten volume, ends up being better. I own Kelly. I hope he's better. I hope he eats. He's been just another guy all year, though, on his carries, and now he gets the hardest matchup so far. So I'm not sitting there loving him right now. Last one for Omar. Sit Mixon versus Ball or Sanders versus Pitt? I feel better about sitting Sanders. How do you sit Mixon off a 45-point day? 2 tough matchups. Mixon's a little bit easier, and I think he's just a better play right now. Sarah Riley, play 2. Ridley, Woods, Jefferson, R. Anderson. Oh, why would you make me decide between such good fucking options? Man. Part of me is you have to play Ridley. I mean, the number 1 fantasy receiver. Let's see how is he entering this game real limited, or is he getting some full practices in? That might change. You can always check back in on Sunday. We have our sit-start show then. I would be more than happy to readdress this. I love Jefferson Sunday night against Seattle. I love Anderson against Atlanta. My gut right now is saying I'm playing Ridley and Anderson. If Ridley's limping into this week, I feel like I might most easily bench Woods because just the ceiling is so much higher for everybody else. So right now, gun to the head, I'm saying Ridley and Anderson. Justin Nelson, would you rather trade Gurley for Boyd and Singletary or Drake? Either. I'm happy to pull the trigger on either. Gurley seems to be a little more valuable because he actually finds the end zone. Very touchdown dependent, but he's kind of picking up steam. So I'd probably trade Drake first. Is Josh Kelly's safe start this week? So Noah Pringle, I think I just answered that one for you. White and T. Higgins, at that point, yeah, I think I'd go him, but I don't think he's as safe as people think. Mr. Munchies with a nice happy face. Love it. Need to sit one for Juju, Fuller, DJ Moore. Okay. They all got good spots this week. To me, I'm locking in Juju and Fuller. DJ Moore's been so disappointing. I think I go Jefferson against Seattle. They're just getting dominated by wide receivers. Your hate from Monty knows no bounds. Here he comes with 2 touchdowns for me tonight. Hurst or Schultz for Kevin Ford. I'm leaning Schultz this week. Tight end 9. Love the matchup against the Giants. I have Ronald Jones, Antonio Gibson, and Le'Veon. Who do I put in at RB2? Gibson for me. I like Le'Veon with Flacco, potentially high receiving upside, but give me Gibson. He's become pretty much a set and forget for me. Also, Lamb as a flex. Love it. Great. Doesn't matter to me. The Cowboys offense, you want all the pieces you can get. I'm in a 10-man league, has 0.7 PPR. Okay, cool. JAC. Stacked at running back. I have Zeke, Aaron Jones, Sanders, and James Robb. Drafted DJ Moore round 4, so I need a new wide receiver. Yeah, trade Sanders. I'm with you. I like it. If he not looking great, I think your reasoning is good. Those of you on YouTube, if you haven't subscribed, would be greatly appreciated. Even if you're on another platform, that's where we're trying to grow the most. We're like 75 followers away from 1K, which opens up some monetizing, some privileges from YouTube. We'd love your help hitting it. And again, any likes, thumbs up on YouTube, likes on Twitter, Periscope, retweets, and of course, shares on Facebook and any groups you're in. Toss it in to help us out. We would greatly appreciate it. And of course, your likes are always appreciated. Montgomery, Drake, Freeman, Slayton, Fournette, Singletary. Pick 2, not Fournette, definitely. I dare I say I like Drake the most. He gets the Jets. Let's give him one more try. And then I like Singletary. He's a risk, but Montgomery is not worth putting him in and then being like, he got me a nice 6 tonight. I feel like all the hate I've spit at Montgomery this week is like, it's definitely going to make him have a blow up. He pinned it on his locker room. He knows. That's how it goes. When I hate on a guy this obsessively, like he ends up blowing up. But I like Drake, and then I like figuring it out from there. Obviously, if Moss is not going to play, Singletary's the no-brainer. If he is, Slayton enters the conversation because of how bad the defense is for Dallas. Oh, we covered that. Gibson or Mostert? I'm going to go Mostert. Gibson, rather. Again, pretty close to every week status. I have 2 pending offers, DK and OBJ for Robinson. And the second is I give away Sanders and Russell Gage for Diggs. I know the values for DK. Yeah, I want to keep Robinson too, but DK is DK. I mean, top 5 receivers so far. That's not slowing down. So, and it's not for OBJ. Are you getting DK and OBJ? Or your pick of them? Because if it's both, then goddamn. Love it. But yeah, DK for Robinson straight up, I would still do. Screw that snake oil salesman TB12. Guy probably thinks he has the vaccine to COVID. Dead to me till he retires. There's that salty CJ. I don't see myself starting OBJ because I have Keenan Allen, Will Fuller, Jefferson. But I mean, he's good to add to the stable for sure. But I'd rather have DK. I'm going to go with the DK one. Great info on the DK stacks. Why the best? Looking for the DFS podcast. Yeah, Saturday at 11 a.m., my dude. Love it. Appreciate the kind words. Todd, you are more than welcome. Thanks for tuning in. Which trade would you take? I already answered that. CD Lamb or DJ Moore? CD, baby. I mean, I love DJ Moore's matchup, but CD is doing it, and he's got a great matchup. So give me the guy doing it and in the great matchup instead of the guy that's only in the great matchup right now. TC Haley, Brady or Big Ben this week? I got to go Big Ben. I mean, Brady off a monster day, but Philly a pretty good matchup for Big Ben. Chicago with banged up receivers, Thursday night, short week. Don't love Brady's spot tonight. And what he did to that defense last week, I think was more about how decimated they were. I also don't have Big Ben or Tannehill ranked because they were somehow hidden in here. So let me get those guys in. Let me pull it up. Let's rank those guys live for you and just really make sure, TC Haley, where these guys slot in. Big Ben. I'm going to bump Breeze down below my boy Teddy. But yeah, Ben right at QB 11, maybe even over Goff. Garoppolo, an intriguing stream this week. I'd put him right in this I like Daniel Jones actually a lot this week, so I'll bump Jimmy down. And then Tannehill, I think that game has a lot of upside. I love Tannehill. I really do. And then Ben below, there we go. So that's the QBs adjusted there for you. But Big Ben over Brady, as you can see. I know you'll say Nato Rojo. I have him. Mixon, Taylor, Gibson, Drake. Yeah, no to Rojo. You have a feel he's going to do work, put him in. I mean, always trust the gut over me, right? You got to always go down on your own sword, not mine. Wasn't sure if my initial question went through. Didn't mean, no, you're good, Noah. You're good. It gives us more comments, so you're all good. Don't worry about it, brother. I lie. Omar, fucking million questions, and I love you. I have Chicago D in, but can I pivot to Denver in the hope Cam sits? Yeah, I would do that, is what I would say. Yep. Here comes the pick 6, though, of course. Flex, McLaurin or Gurley for Russell. I'm going to go Gurley. The matchup just against Carolina is so juicy, touchdown machine. Whereas McLaurin's probably going to draw Jalen Ramsey, the tougher of matchups. So, yeah. Fearless forecast for Ebron. Dude's hitting the end zone. 5 catches, 65 yards. TD. Eric Ebron. Hudbat. All right, so Gibson, rub back 2. Give me a flex. T. Higgins, R. Jones, Le'Veon, Gage. Jones washed up, ass dead on my RR. Thanks if you can answer this one, big man. I'm going to go Le'Veon, I think. Our boy Mike Clay here saying he thinks Jones is going to go off it. And Chicago is much more susceptible to running backs than they are anything else. Don't love T against Baltimore. Don't know that I love our Gage. Jones washed up, ass dead. I'd bad. Love you. I like Le'Veon. I don't want to get my Thursday night fix with Jones, just unless it is true that Fournette's just strictly emergency here. For flex from Daniel Heneo, you got Robbie Anderson, but I don't know if I should put in Kenyon Drake or CD. Must win. Oh, I think I go Robbie, just the way he's getting it done, and now he gets Atlanta. CD would be my next. So Drake's my third there. And yeah, JAC, I'm taking DK and OBJ for sure. I would have probably just done it straight up for DK. So yes, gives you some trade bait, gives you some depth. Absolutely. Mike Evans or Scotty Miller, especially because you had said you had Wolf Fuller, by the way, JAC. You need some decent depth there. Mike Evans and Scotty Miller. And I'm only asking this because Mike, you got to still roll Mike, though. Mike Evans for sure, Ricky. Yeah, I agree. You just got to go your big guns there. Crowder, Ayuk, Chenaulter, Patrick, PPR. Ayuk, baby. Loving him against Miami. Don't know how I didn't know this guy before, but loving the stream. How do you put up the questions for him to see? So I'm putting up the questions. Thank you. I'm in this program. It's awesome. It's called StreamYard, Daniel Haneo. And it just has this, I wish I could show it to you, but it has like a comment section, and I just click it and it pops right up. It's StreamYard's my new favorite device. I love it to stream. I'm no tech guy, and it's made it so easy for me. But glad you're loving the stream. You know me now. Let's get it right, baby. Gurley, White, McKinnon. I'm going to go Gurley there. Touchdown upside. Love me some McKinnon, but with Mostert back, it's Gurley. CD, Deontay, J. Jeff, or Boyd, PPR. Who should I start? Damn, you got some good options. Justin Nelson. I think I'm going to go Boyd. I think Boyd's earned that like every week. We saw McLaurin do it to Baltimore, so they're not like impenetrable. And Wes Huber over at Fantasy Points, one of my favorite wide receiver cornerback guys, went with Boyd as one of his big plays this week. So I like it. I'm going to go Boyd there. But damn, you got some good fucking options. I do have to bump up CD. I have him too low in my rankings based on all these answers I'm given. Let me water down real quick. CD or DJ Moore rest of season? CD, baby. CD Lamb. All about it. I know you are too, Mike. Don't you bear? Why are you asking that? I know you. Mitchell Chavez. Always love the insight. Thank you. Have a great night, Mr. Wolf. Go Chiefs. Fuck you, Chiefs, but love you, Mitch. Have a great night too, brother. Pick 2, Robinson, David Johnson, Drake, or Gibson, PPR. Robinson, Lawak. Giuseppe, stop asking Robinson. You're annoying me now. Robinson's every week, baby. And then, do I go to Drake one more time? We going to do it? I think I'm going to do it. Against the Jets. Let's do it. Drake's my 15 and Gibson's my 16. So they're neck and neck, Giuseppe. If you're done with Drake shit, Gibson's not a bad option. I have both of them in my lineup, so I don't have to decide between the two. But I feel like this would be like Drake, you bench to send a message, and you get a mixing game. So I'm going with it. I'm going Drake. Gibson or Edelman? Gibson, baby. What did Edelman do with Hoyer at quarterback? Did you see that Monday night game? Giuseppe, my boy, you're smarter than this. Thanks for the call on the trade. I'm with you. Drake is driving me insane. This is a big middle finger to Kenyon Drake, Casey Kelly. He's driving me so insane. Murray trying to be mini Lamar isn't helping. I mean, he is, though. He is mini Lamar. That's the thing, is he's so fucking good. He's on pace for 16 rushing touchdowns. He just makes defenders miss like it's his job. I'm all about him, the way he's playing. Balling. Absolutely balling. I have 7 leagues to manage, so I appreciate you answering all of them. That's why you're the best. Cheers, Omar. Happy to help you out as much as we can. Appreciate the interaction always. You're the man. Player prop locks of the night. So I don't hit a ton of these. That's CJ. They are on our Instagram, if I'm not mistaken. CJ, can you send them to me? Let me see if he posted them on Instagram. But he's the master of the player props, not me. So I'll come back to that for sure. Awesome. Thanks, subbed. I'll be tuning in. See you, man. Hub that. Appreciate the sub. Appreciate you tuning in. The bell on for the notification so you know when I go live. But we have I go live almost every night, every week. Not great for my relationship, but it's working. We'll be live every night other than Fridays, pretty much. Haydenhurst or Ebron? The gut's telling me Ebron. The gut. I think I have Hurst ranked higher, but I kind of want to go Ebron here. How can we help increase your monetization opportunities? Subbing on YouTube's great. Spreading the word and helping grow the audience. Eventually, Todd, we will have some premium packages, or like I'll do one-on-one consulting and thing like that. For now, it's just all about meeting you guys and building the loyalty, the trust. And eventually, if we've earned your trust and loyalty, then when we roll out a premium package, consider buying from us. That's kind of it. Maybe we'll put up a tip jar for those of you that win at the end of the year, our Venmo and stuff like that. But just subbing, spreading the word. Feel free to DM us and we can talk more. We're looking to build like a brand ambassador position for people that can really help us with Reddit and things like that. The big thing is just outreach right now, spreading the word, helping us grow. And then when we have our premium options, consider buying. It'd be great. For now, it's just all about providing you guys value, though. Do you think we'll see another great week from Chark? Is 2019 Chark back, Noah Pringle? Great question. I think so. I like what we saw. It's clear how key he is to this offense. So, yeah, I'm all about it. Sarah Riley with another one. Carson, David Johnson, Mostert, or Gibson? Carson locked. Gibson. Carson Gibson. Love it. Appreciate the help always, brother. James. Not James. Hello. What's up, James? Clay, love your laughs. D. Henry Robinson at running back. Hopkins. Good Lord, Tanner Walker. Are you just here to flex on all of us? Like, congrats, asshole. That's a sweet-ass team, dude. Well done. Who for flex? Robbie Anderson, T. Boyd, Robinson. How are you 1-3 with this squad? What are you in an 8 fucking man league? You one of those 8-man people fucking writing in with these, like, everybody has these ridiculous squads. But Robinson's the flex for me. Against Houston, giving up the most rushing yards on the ground. The guy has the second most receiving yards behind only Kamara for running backs. Robinson's like a set and forget for me. Ayuk, Sanders, Zacchaeus, McKinnon, pick 2. McKinnon and It's tough to go both all in on 49ers, but yeah, Ayuk is just too athletic, too freakish to get out of the lineup. Gurley or Le'Veon rest of season? Neither that enthused about, but I like Gurley a little bit more. He's showing some good TD upside these last couple weeks. Robbie Anderson, Keenan, Calvin Ridley, Amari, Justin Jefferson. Which three should I start? I think you got to lock in Keenan. New Orleans with no corners right now. Amari's a no-brainer. And as long as Ridley's good to go, great cast, by the way. I go Ridley. That being said, I mean, Jefferson and Robbie Anderson, the matchups are beyond juicy. So, man, you got so many good ones there. I think I just go with the studs, Keenan, Ridley, and Amari. But damn, I like those other two a lot this week. And why? No, I love Tyler Boyd and DJ Chark. So, I mean, you win that trade, yes. But if this is for the same team, why are you adding more good receivers to your stable? You should be looking at running backs is what you got to be doing. Don't trade a position of strength for more depth in that position. Go for your needs. Here's our props. Brady under 23.5 completions. I don't know if I agree with that one, CJ. Montgomery over 21 point. Fuck Montgomery. A. Miller over 2.5 receptions. Gronk to score a TD plus 165. There's your props, Giuseppe, my boy. Keyshawn Vaughn or Darrell Henderson? Darrell Henderson. Keyshawn Vaughn with Fournette potentially back. No dice. All right. Couldn't leave one. Need one more. Oh, no doubt. Thanks for staying. Happy you're here. Favored by low running back. 3-1. Not worry about playoffs. It's not necessarily buying low, but if Christian McCaffrey's owner's in a little bit of a bind here, what will it take to get him is kind of what I'm asking. Go out and get him right now. If you can, if you're not in a bind, you're going to make the playoffs, like maybe Chubb and Eckler, if their owners are panicking. Like, can you trade some bench? Could you do McKinnon for Chubb? I don't know. I like McKinnon a lot, but like those are the guys, those elite guys that you should be targeting. But McCaffrey would be my first target. Robinson putting up 30 tonight. No. That defense is too good. I think he'll do decent, but no. Chicago or Denver defense. I've gotten that one twice at TC Haley, and I have them 11-12. It's defense. Like, you got to trust your gut. I have Denver slightly higher because I don't think Cam plays. If he does play, that's a bad play. But yeah, I go Denver. 2 weeks. Trade away Henry and Julio for Zeke and Kittle, then traded DJ Moore to get Julio back. You put my mind into pretzel. Can't address that. Thanks, brother. This team man league is killing me. The flexing is Adams on bye too. Good Lord. How are you 1-3? Tom has 2. Okay, that's interesting. I like that. That's a good bet then. I like it. Is Ridley hurt or was it just absolutely awful game? He's dinged up for sure. It was an awful game as well. But it's hard not to go to the guy. He's number one, like for a reason. It was a top 4 quarterback till he went down. I like Herbert. Oh no, I'm answering the wrong question. There's another question below you. Sorry. I got to keep going back to Ridley most time. You have a really good option and you want to give it a week. Okay. But if Ridley has 30 on your bench, you're going to be pissed. Sorry, I missed it. Drop Cam. So that's the one I was just answering. Freudian slip there. I agree with Mitchell here. Keep Cam is where I'm leaning. That's where I'm going. And I put Denver in Brady. Yeah, Brady's looked good. The wide receivers are banged up. Chicago is good. Khalil Mack could get to him, but yeah, if as long as Cam's not playing, now if he has time to recover from COVID, then Denver's not going to look like a good play. I'm doing the Denver stream as if Hoyer or Stidham is playing. But yeah, I'm leaning that way. I have them 11 Denver and Chicago 12. All righty, folks. Thank you so much. This was a great blast, especially on YouTube tonight. A lot of great interaction. Again, anyone willing to sub on YouTube, if you haven't already, even if you watch us somewhere else, means the world. You can put on the notifications on the bell so you know every time I'm going live with all these sit starts. Love to have these Ask Me Anythings. You guys make it as fun as it is. So thanks so much for wherever you tuned in. If you're willing to subscribe on YouTube and also to the pod, Fantasy Fullback Dive, we paved your path to 2020 titles. Also much appreciated as well. We're trying to grow the most in both those areas. But thanks so much for wherever you tuned in. If you caught the replay, comment in your question. We'll be sure to try to get to that by the weekend. And if not, if we miss you, we will definitely hit it Sunday at 11 a.m. where we go our big sit-start tailgate. But love having this Thursday, an early week reason to drink and answer your guys' questions. Enjoy your games. Good luck. I hope you get what you need. Until Sunday and Saturday DFS, the Wolf is out.